Tomorrow night is Yom Kippur, and this coming Shabbat we're going to read the Parshat called Haazinu. It is the second to last Parsha in the Torah. So I want to try to bring together some of the ideas that are going to link Yom Kippur with Parshat Haazinu. So we have traveled from Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah was the beginning of the world. Rosh Hashanah was the beginning of mankind. Rosh Hashanah was the birth. We traveled through 10 days of working on ourselves, of reflection, of trying to be better, trying to self-reflect and understand who we are and what we want and where we're going. And then we end up with Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is a day where we dress in white. We stand in synagogue. We don't eat. We don't drink. We don't bathe. We don't put creams on. We don't wear leather shoes. We divest ourselves on some level of the physicality of who we are, like trying to minimize our bodies, trying to access our soul and be in the soul. And it's almost like, one of the interpretations is that we're trying to almost imitate our death. There's a confrontation with our mortality. Who are we? Are we going to be here next year? We know that our life is in the balance. We know that God is the creator of the world who sustains and gives us life. We know that we have life today, thank God. And please God, we'll be here next year and we'll be here the year after. But we don't know that. And in that confrontation with mortality, we are open. Our hearts are open. Parshat Haazinu, which we'll read on Shabbat, begins with the word Haazinu, which means give ear, listen up. Moses, on the last day of his life, is singing a song to the Jewish people, a song that's emotional, a song that comes from the heart, a song that is a description of the history of the Jewish people, but it's done with melody, with expression, with emotion, with love. It has a different impact than just saying words. Songs draw us in. Songs are easier for us to listen to. Songs, sometimes we participate in the song and we become active in the joining of the person who's singing. So there's a lot of to talk about in terms of the song, but this word Haazinu, to listen. What is it that we listen to? Are we listening to the shofar? All this month of Elul and now Rosh Hashanah, we've been blowing the shofar at the end of Yom Kippur. We're going to blow the shofar and it's going to be this long blast. We're going to blow it 100 times and it's going to open us up because it's piercing. And we have memories of the times, other times where we've heard it, or other times in history where the shofar's been blown. It's an ageless, piercing, evoking memory sound that we listen to. That's a mitzvah, is to listen to the sound and let it penetrate us, let it open us up so we can be vulnerable, so we can listen to the songs, so we can listen to our own soul, so we can listen to other people's souls, so we can listen to the bat kol, the small voice of God talking to us. And we can listen to the whole universe, which we understand is singing. Everything's vibrating. The trees, the mountains, the rivers, the birds, everything is singing praise to God. And we want to be part of that. We want to be one with the oneness of the world. And there's a song going on. There's a symphony. And we want to harmonize and be part of that symphony. So that's the little piece of Haazinu that I wanted to speak about. The giving ear, the listening to the shofar, listening to our souls, listening to other people's souls, listening to the bas kol, the small voice of God talking to us, listening to the harmony of the symphony of nature, and listening and giving ear, listening and singing. So those are the two things out of Haazinu that I wanted to pull out. And then Yom Kippur, I want to talk about joy. And I want to talk about forgiveness. So the word for forgiveness, one of the words forgiveness, is mechila. And it is similar to the word that is used for dancing in a circle. Jewish people like to dance in a circle. Why? Because there's no one leading. There's no one in front. There's no one better than anyone else. We dance in a circle, in a machol. We dance around a circle. It's complete. It's whole. It's not broken. It's filled with each one of us who matters. And it's important to be in that circle. And it's combining our hearts, our souls, our bodies. Everything's coming together in this circle. And it takes us back to a oneness when we were one. So the idea of forgiveness, I want to talk about forgiveness for a second, and how on Yom Kippur we're taught that it is a day of forgiveness. The day of Yom Kippur is likened unto a mikveh. A mikveh is a body of water, a natural body of water that's gathered together. And when we go in and come out, we come out, we're different than when we went in. We've been transformed. We're different, like we've become a different state of being. We've been transformed into something new. So too, Yom Kippur is a day like a mikveh. It's a day we step into in time where we change, where we can be forgiven, where we can be wiped clean, where we can start all over again. We can go back to before there was any schmutz, before there was any impurity. We can go back and be clean and be white, like we stand in shul on Yom Kippur. We can be white, wearing white clothes like the angels. We can be that. And that's joy. There's joy in that forgiveness. There's joy in forgiveness. There's a wonderful medrash that talks about Moses. And Moses went on the last day of his life. God says, your time's up. It's time for you to go up the mountain. He says, please, can I live a little bit longer? Can I go and bless the Jewish people? And God says, okay, go bless the Jewish people. And he goes and he asks the people for forgiveness. Forgive me for being angry with you. Forgive me for pushing you when it was too hard for you. Forgive me for all the things I've done as I pulled you out of or I was your leader as I took you out of Egypt. Forgive me for those things. And the people say, we forgive you. And then the people turn to Moses and they say, Moses, please forgive us. Forgive us for what we've done, for our stiff-neckedness, for us rebellion against you, for whatever it is that we've done in the sojourn through the desert. Please forgive us. And Moses says, I forgive you. And I imagine that those closing moments of forgiveness between Moses and the Jewish people before Moses goes up the mountain to die are very joyous moments, because there's a clarity, there's a joy in that forgiveness, there's a purity, there's something about that openness and that connection that is formed after there's forgiveness on both sides. And so Moses gets forgiveness and the people get forgiveness, and there's joy in that. So forgiveness and joy from forgiveness, joy from being part of something. We're part of the Jewish people. We're part of the big organic mass that is the Jewish people, that is going into the future, that came from the past. And Moses says in Haazinu, know where you came from, know who your ancestors were, know what big shoulders we are carried on. This is who we are. We are descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Rachel, and Sarah, and Rachel, and Leah, and Rivka. We're the descendants of these people who put genetic DNA, soulful, spiritual genetic DNA into us to create who we are today. And that's who we are. We're part of something. We're going somewhere. We have hope for a good future. We know that our lives are meaningful and have significance, and that we belong. And all of that creates joy. On Yom Kippur, the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, would go into the Holy of Holies. It was the only day that he would go into the Holy of Holies, and he would perform the service there. And if the people were forgiven, he would emerge alive. And when he did emerge alive, and the people understood that meant that everybody was forgiven, that we could start all new. There was a newness to this when the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, comes out alive after doing the service in the Holy of Holies. The people sang and they danced. It was a joyous day of forgiveness. And it says that the Kohen Gadol, when he came out, that he was like a rainbow in the clouds. He was like a garment of splendor. He was like a rose in a beautiful garden. He was like a groom filled with grace. He was like a bright star. He was like an angel. He was like a candle in the window. He was like a rising sun. So this imagery of the glow of the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, coming out of the temple, knowing that there was a new beginning, knowing that everybody had been forgiven, knowing that we were wiped clean, like the mikveh, that we emerged from Yom Kippur new and white and shiny and clean and filled with joy. And there was dancing, circle dancing. So the mechila, the forgiveness that led to the machol, the circle dancing that we did when we knew that we were being forgiven. So I'm just tying this all together. I'm tying listening with singing, with the joy of forgiveness, with Yom Kippur that we're entering into. So yes, it's a somber day, but yes, it's also a very joyous day, because it's a day that we emerge from knowing that we're white clean, that we have a new beginning, that we can recreate ourselves, that we've come from very honorable and huge, holy people, that we're descended from those people, we're part of that people, and that we're going forward into a future that we pray will be good. So I wish everybody a meaningful Yom Kippur, a day where we're all cleansed, a day where we can emerge ready to dance in a circle with each other, where we can look forward to a year of good health, a year of good life, a year of growth, a year of connection with ourselves, with each other, and with the universe and with God.